Well, the hurdles are going in place on the track here at Hornet Stadium because we have a final coming up. We'll choose the U.S. Olympic team in the 400-meter hurdles. Here are the competitors in the men's 400-meter hurdles. In lane 1 is William Porter from Austin, Texas, a finalist at the '96 trials where he finished 8th and hoping to make the U.S. team at the 2000 Olympic trials. In lane 2 is Sherman Armstrong, an All-American from the University of Illinois, where he will be a senior in the fall. He was 3rd at this year's NCAA 400-meter hurdle championship. In lane 3, Lewis Sales Jr., who came on strong, get the 4th and final qualifying position in his semifinal race. The former George Mason All-American, who was eliminated in the first round at the '96 trials in Atlanta. In lane 4, Eric Thomas, 4th at the 1996 U.S. Olympic trials and 4th at last year's U.S. championships. That's the worst spot to be, of course, 4th, just 1 place away from making the U.S. Olympic team. Thomas hopes to gain that berth this year. In lane 5 is Joey Woody, the former Northern Iowa runner who was an NCAA champion. He was a finalist in 1996 at the U.S. Olympic trials, but wound up 7th. He has a better chance this year to make the U.S. team. In lane 6 is Angelo Taylor, the former Yellow Jacket, who won the first semifinal in 48:59 and was the U.S. champion last year, was considered a strong candidate for a medal at the World Championships, but didn't make it out of the first round after easing up at the end of his heat. In lane 7 is James Carter from Baltimore, Maryland. Ran a lifetime best in his second semifinal. The former All-American from Hampton University, who was 3rd at last year's NCAA championships. And in lane 8 is Calvin Davis, an Arkansas Razorback, a surprise in 1996, surprised just to make the U.S. team, and then went on to take the bronze medal at the Atlanta Games. That's the field for the men's 400-meter hurdle final.
Tom, down in lane 4, Eric Thomas will probably remember back in 1996. He said he was so excited about that final, in which he ended up 4th, that he ran 20 strides to the first hurdle. The plan is 21 strides, so he started the race off literally on the wrong foot. And so now what all of these athletes have to do is relax and remember what they've done in training and not to get overly excited and allow their minds to run away with this thing.
Start of the men's 400-meter hurdles, and the first hurdle approaches.
William Porter in lane 1 has got a tough lane. He's a great young hurdler coming up, but he's in a bad position to try and make the team there.
Lewis Sales Jr. got away fast in lane 3. Eric Thomas is there in 4. Joey Woody trying to make up some ground, and Angelo Taylor's made up the stagger as they go down the back stretch.
Joey Woody wanted to run a hard third 100 meters, and he's got to do that now and pick it up if he wants to be in contention.
Angelo Taylor looking good at the moment. Taylor is in front. Eric Thomas trying to close some ground, and Joey Woody. It is Angelo Taylor that has the lead. Thomas is second. They're over the final hurdle. James Carter trying to close on the outside. It will be Angelo Taylor to win, and Eric Thomas second. James Carter got the 3rd and final spot on the U.S. team.
Well, James Carter, who got that 3rd and final spot, has improved now over 2 seconds this year, kind of reminiscent of Edwin Moses. But Angelo did what people were talking about 3 years ago when he first took up this event, that he would be the leader of the U.S. troops for Sydney.
And a huge disappointment, Marty, for Joey Woody, who was improving through the rounds. He was on the World Championship last year, World Championship team last year, but not able to make it happen. He was in contention, but he really was behind the 8 ball there with 200 meters to go. He was just a little bit too far out of it and couldn't make up the distance.
You know, Angelo Taylor won this race despite that leap over the last hurdle, and also in the middle of the race going off over a hurdle and being off balance. So he's got a lot more to give.
Angelo timed in 47.62, which is his personal best and is the fastest time in the world this year. The victory lap underway here at Hornet Stadium for the three members of the U.S. team, as Taylor and Thomas are joined by James Carter. Well, tomorrow, of course, will be the final day of the U.S. Olympic track and field trials, and it should be quite a show. In fact, Maurice Green and Michael Johnson have drawn into the same semifinal, as has Marion Jones and Inger Miller. So the battles, the rivalries begin early tomorrow in the 200-meter semis. We'll be back tomorrow night at 7 Eastern and Pacific for that climactic final day of the U.S. Olympic track and field trials. And coming up next, tune in for exclusive coverage of the U.S. Women's Open Championship. Now this is Tom Hammond for Dwight Stones, Marty McCory, Lewis Johnson, Carol Lewis, and Jim Gray saying so long from Sacramento, California.